thank you, Toastmasters of the evening. Well, as the general evaluator, I think you have a very high quality meeting here. I mean, your English capabilities are above average, and I love what you're doing here. You're being creative, you have that motivation, you have that energy to deliver your speech and just present yourself as who you are. So what I'm going to go through right now is what I think you can improve on. So you won't be hearing too many, how would say, you wouldn't hear any praises from me for the next couple of minutes. So, because I mean, you know what are your strengths, you know what you are good at. So I'm just going to go over what you can improve at. I'm going to start with your agenda here, or your agenda. So what I think that it can be improved on is that you have guests from other Toastmasters clubs, and somehow it's better to include from which club or what position is he doing. Like, for instance, Michael, he's a non-Toastmasters member, so you could just place professor, a German professor.
Teacher.
A teacher. A German teacher. You're being humble. So, a German teacher. I mean, this will help lessen the time that each guest would need to introduce themselves. Like, some of the individual evaluators spend half a second or 1 second introducing themselves, who they are, which club are they from, instead of going directly into the evaluation. So that is something that we can improve, I think, the club can improve on. And the next thing is, I noticed that you don't like CC and CL, you don't put all the educational awards in there. Not that I don't think that it's good. I think it's just a matter of you not caring about what achievements or what are the Toastmasters level are you in. So this is not a requirement for you, but it's a consideration if you could add like CC or CL or ACB or ACS in the future. Now moving on is how did we conduct the meeting, or how did you conduct the meeting? Well, I'm gonna start off with the opening of the meeting. I noticed that your president is quite busy during the opening, and I'm looking for the SAA in this club, but I'm not sure.
We do the SAA together.
Oh,
I assigned the officers to take turn doing the SAA.
Okay.
So let them get familiar with all the equipment.
Okay, you don't, so today, do you have any SAAs today?
We have a team for SAA. There's many people for SAA.
Okay, so you do things differently from other Toastmasters clubs. So what I think is that the president is you are a very important person in this club. You set direction, you set the atmosphere, and instead of calling the meeting into order, you could ask your team of SAA to come up and call the meeting to order and gather everyone around. So you can spend that precious time together with your guest, talking to Michael, or perhaps talking to your new classmates that are non-Toastmasters member. So that is what I think that you could focus on. Focus on attending to those people that are not yet a Toastmasters member. Because what you want is that you would want to get more Toastmasters members into your club. Now, next thing up is the introduction of the Toastmasters of the evening. I mean, you've got more than 30, or put the count here, more than 50 members perhaps in this club, and I'm not sure if each one of you, do you know each one of you? Do you know each other? Do you know each other well? No, not really, right? So that's why it's important to have that introduction. It's important that when we introduce a speaker or Toastmasters of the meeting or the next workshop speaker, give a little bit of background. Who is he? What is he doing? Why is he capable of doing this workshop? And why or what to expect on the next event. So that's something to consider on. Next is our prepared speech sessions. I'm gonna combine the prepared speech session with the evaluation session because I think they go hand in hand. For the number one speaker, Marian, I think you did a great job delivering a C1 speech, and it's beyond C1. It's beyond expectation, really. So what I would encourage the evaluator, Catherine, to focus on is, instead of reiterating what Marian did, is focus on her strengths. What kind of skills, what kind of good presentation did she deliver? Like what Michael said, she has good eye contact. What I feel is that she has a very strong message. She is very positive in her life. She has a positive outlook in her life. And I like the fact that she's really proud of herself. I mean, being disabled is not something that is to be ashamed of. It's something that it's just there. It is what it is. But then she could convey it in a very positive manner. Now, so that is what you wanted to focus on. So you wanted to focus on what are the strengths, and for the improvement, I would say you mentioned a phrase or a sentence during your speech, like, I cannot do this, I cannot do that. That kind of lessened the impact of you being not able to do a lot of things. Like, what is that you can't do? Like, I cannot run, I cannot dance. And this is something that is common among the audience. Like, everyone can run and everyone can dance except for me. So not, I can do this, I can do that. I cannot do this, I cannot do that. So see the difference there? So for the speaker, number 2, right? I think that you have a very well prepared speech here, and what I would want you to work on is spend more time on the process of how you got your weight loss. And next thing up is avoid your PowerPoint presentations. I see this common problem among students where you want to use PowerPoints a lot, where in fact, for example, Bright's speech, you really don't need, like, I would say you only need a slide. The previous you and the current you. That's it. That's the only message there. So try to avoid the PowerPoint slide because that's sort of a distraction for everyone. And for the evaluator, I think this is a common scenario for a lot of evaluators as well. It's like you start with, hello, I'm here, I'm Jones, or I'm Ivan. So kind of omit that part. And then I think I'm gonna go over time, but I'm gonna go fast right now. So for the speakers and the evaluators, like for Jeff, Annie, and Stanley, I think you have your own strength and you're very confident in standing before the crowd. What I would want to see on is, for instance, what I would want to see you on is fulfilling your project objective. Like for instance, C8 speech is using visual aids. Now, using visual aids is something that is, you don't just use props. Visual aid is something that you have a message and you need something to support that message. It's like, for instance, I'm going to explain about the geographical locations of Europe. So you would need a map. So that map is your visual aid. So what I think that Annie did was merely presenting props rather than a visual aid. Then Stanley, I think it is an inspirational speech, but you could do more. So it's more of, I think you have the emotion there. The emotion is right on there, but the message is kind of vague. I'm not sure if you're are you about to graduate? Because it feels like you're about to graduate and you're calling your Toastmasters journey and how it has influenced you. So I would say that what is that you want the audience to do? What do you want them to learn from your